What's up, everybody? I'm Noah from Techno Buffalo. It's a sad day. I don't even know, the announcement today, HP's conference call, a couple hours before the conference call, their earnings call, kind of a routine thing in the business world, earnings call. Tell people how you did last quarter. And a couple hours before it, story started to break. There was a press release and stuff that HP was killing off the webOS hardware business. And so they had the conference call and all that stuff, and we were talking about it all day, and John said to me, hey man, why don't you do a video? Why don't you do a, I think John used the word rant. He likes the word rant, do a rant video. It's like an expressing my feelings video. It's like a eulogy. Because not that long ago I wrote a letter on the website, an open letter to HP, begging them, pleading with them to do the right thing, do something with webOS, get the flagship phones out, make them work right, It was back in, what was it, February, I guess? A little while ago, back in, stroke my chin and think about the good old days. It wasn't that long ago. Look at how sad this is. There's not even a phone in here. I was going to do a whole gimmick where I took my Palm phone, my webOS phone, and I was trying to call HP, and it was going to be like, hi HP, can I talk to the webOS division, please? No? There's nobody there? Why, because you killed it? But I couldn't even do that because I can't even find the phone. I got this box. It's depressing. So it wasn't that long ago. John and I headed out to Fort Mason Pavilion in San Francisco for the big HP webOS event, and they showed the touchpad, and they showed the Pre 3 and the Veer, and it was exciting. They promised to get products out faster, and the touchpad looked phenomenal. And they did the thing where they took the Pre 3 and they clinked it against the touchpad screen and transferred the web page and all that stuff. And everybody was excited. And now it's what? It's not even a year later. 49 days since the touchpad was launched, and it's dead. That a day short of the record. I think it was Michael Gartenberg was tweeting, a day short of the record held by Kin, the shortest lifespan of a mobile product in the modern era. But I don't know, man. I'm more sad. I guess Mike Perlman was right with his headline, webOS croaks, Noah Kravitz cries. I'm sad about this because I really, there are a couple reasons why. First of all, I guess this is where it turns into a rant. First of all, webOS is great. The Palm, or the HP products rather, buggy, touchpad buggy. Pre 3 never even came out. I guess it launched very quietly in Europe. Maybe, they said on the call it'll be shutting down Q4 of this year, I think, the hardware division. So, what does that mean? They're going to ship more? They're going to ship the Pre 3 in America? Who's going to buy it? The Pre 3 never came out, and all that, but still, webOS, just a great operating system, and on touchpad, it looked, like it. I don't know, just there looked like potential, even though it was buggy when it came out, even though I personally am not all that high on tablets. There's potential to do it a little bit differently, and in a very elegant, stylish way. And I've always thought that webOS was sort of my favorite parts of iOS and my favorite parts of Android kind of mashed together, but with its own unique, unique visual thing happening. The notification system is excellent, but the operating system is clean, and just the design of it is a little more, I don't know, it speaks to me a little more than Android does, but does more kind of under the hood stuff than iOS does, or more advanced with the notifications and multitasking and everything. Anyway, so it's sad to me because, just so great, and now they're shutting down the hardware business. The software business isn't dead. Don't know exactly what's going to happen with it, and I'll talk about that in a second. Second thing is just that, this was what everybody was afraid of when it was announced that HP was buying webOS. And this could go one of two ways. This could go the good way, where, Palm didn't really have the money, they didn't have the resources on their own when they made their first comeback, to really do enough, the hardware manufacturing and quality control and distribution channels, and they didn't have the muscle to probably negotiate better deals, and I still think that, that original deal to go with Sprint as the, no disrespect to Sprint, but that was just, it was a bad thing from the start to have Sprint be the exclusive distributor of the Pre, because their reach just isn't big enough. And so you thought, wow, now they're getting a chance with webOS and the Palm people and everything. They're getting a chance with a company that's big, that knows how to make hardware, that knows how to distribute, that knows how to do all that stuff. And this could be great. They could finally have the muscle they need. Or this could go the other way, which is HP and Palm. Seriously? How's that going to work? Palm's all like the pre and design and this future-looking software and stuff and being disruptive, and that's not what HP is about. And this could just turn out badly. And it's turned out badly, you know. It was a $1.2 billion mistake, in essence. The other news, you know, coming out of this call, these announcements today, is that HP is either going to spin off or probably spin off, but possibly sell their consumer PC business. They're all about the enterprise now. So I don't know, you know, maybe that's why Beats decided to go with HTC. Maybe they knew this was coming, because the whole thing was Beats Audio and HP computers and all that. Who knows? But anyway, so just kind of sad from that standpoint that another case of a giant company swallowing a smaller, more kind of fast-moving or innovative or disruptive tech company, and it just not working out, which is too bad. So that's a bummer. Bummed out. You know, and then there's the mobile scene, and you know, let's face it. Every tablet maker not named Apple has, I don't want to say, you can't say failed, you can't say everyone's failed, but they have not performed as well as they would have hoped to this point in time. There's Apple is just dominating the tablet market. I'm not saying the best or the worst, and I'm not having judgment. I'm just saying you look at sheer volume, and iPad 2 are just killing it compared to everybody else. You know, and touchpad, this report came out earlier this week, just yesterday, I guess, that Best Buy had, they wanted to send a bunch of touchpads back because they'd ordered like 275,000 of them or something, 270,000, and sold not even 25,000, not even 10%. It just kind of shows you the tablet market, man. Apple just jumped way out in front. And in the smartphone market, you know, with everything that's happened this year to Nokia and RIM and Windows Phone 7, I think being really interesting and innovative, but not, you know, it didn't fly out of the gate. We'll see what happens this fall with Nokia on board as a partner and the Mango update finally coming. But really at this point, you know, it's a two-way race. BlackBerry still has a huge market share. Obviously Nokia huge, you know, in the lower end market. But in the high-end smartphone market, it's a two-horse race right now between Apple and Android. And BlackBerry, you know, hopefully getting their thing back together. We'll see. And I just hate to see a player with a lot of potential, with a good product, or at least good software. I hate to see that player drop out of the race. Now, hopefully, webOS will wind up being licensed, or I think more likely bought by somebody else. But it might be too late, you know, no matter what. So it's sad for me from that standpoint, from somebody who's an enthusiast, a fan of mobile technology, and also professionally been covering this stuff for so long. Because competition, you know, breeds innovation and ideally just brings better and better stuff to consumers and to the world at large. And you know, losing a player, losing a good player or a player with talent and potential is a sad thing. All that being said, what's next? I'm sorry if I'm kind of low energy here. The more I'm talking about this, the more I'm kind of bummed out by it. I drank an espresso right before this too to fire myself up, but it's sad, man. I'm sad. Mike was right. You know, the tears, I can feel them. You can't see them. I can feel them on the inside. So, so what does this mean? Let's pick this thing back up. I'm gonna carry this around. I'm gonna use this for something. Can I fit my iPhone in it? Carry my iPhone in this Palm case. Just I don't know. Just 'cause. No, it won't even fit. It's too big. Too big! I'm going to carry something. I'll use this as my wallet or something for a little while. So what does this mean? What happens now? webOS. I would love to see HTC buy webOS. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's an interesting time. Earlier this week, Google buying Motorola, assuming that deal gets approved, that's going to shake things up in Android land. No matter what Google says about continuing to, you know, Android being open and continuing to work with their different partners, and no matter what the HTCs and Samsungs of the world said earlier this week in the form of very short, very dry, very similar sounding canned quotes, there's no getting around the fact that if Google owns Motorola, Motorola is going to have a big leg up in terms of Android development in the coming years. And I wouldn't be surprised at some point. I don't know that Android will ever officially go down to just a one vendor system, that Motorola will be the only Android vendor, but I would not be surprised as we get into 2012 to see the higher end Android devices coming first from Motorola. So what do these other companies do? Samsung, HTC already invested at least a little bit in Windows Phone 7. Samsung's also got their Bada operating system, not for the Americas, but they've got that going on as well. So they have a lot of experience, obviously, and Samsung's a huge company, but they've got a lot of experience, even just Samsung Mobile, in software development. They've got their whole TouchWiz system for the tablets and the phones. They've got their whole Bada thing. They've got, Samsung App Store and now the Media Hub stuff where you can rent and buy music and movies and all that stuff. HTC, very similar thing. They don't have their own OS, but Sense is pretty extensive at this point, and they also have been making some purchases lately. Obviously, Beats Audio. They've been doing stuff with OnLive, some other software services companies. They have their own thing going now with buying and renting movies and all that sort of stuff. So they have to be sort of wondering, both of these companies, but I think HTC in particular has to really be wondering, do we make a move? Do we need to have our own operating system? Do we pull back from Android? Do we put more into Windows Phone 7? I don't even know if something like Sense is going to be allowed by Microsoft, let alone a viable move, a differentiator. So what do they do here? And I don't know. I don't know that HTC isn't going to, if they bought webOS, if they were able to buy webOS, that's even on the table. They're not going to take it and all of a sudden overnight start cranking out webOS smartphones. It's not that easy. But they're uniquely positioned, very popular. They've been profitable lately. They've been killing it lately. They make really good hardware, and they know how to develop software, and they even now have shown some chops over the past 6 months to a year in particular in knowing how to brand and market themselves. Samsung, obviously, similar thing, but I could see HTC really wondering, is this a chance to, and who knows what they've got in the works? Who knows what they've got in the HTC Skunkworks labs, and if they've been, working on a full-fledged operating system, because they've been doing Sense long before Android. You go back into the days when I used to do this for that other company, and I remember those first HTC Sense phones. They've been building phones for a long time and programming software for a long time. So they may have their own operating system or pieces of it in the works already. But if they owned an operating system and they didn't have to rely on Google or Microsoft for that matter, or they could just pull back and they could keep manufacturing phones for those companies as a straight OEM, but then also have their own IP that they could just do with what they wanted and never have to worry about, are we going to get the support from Google that we really need to stay competitive? Are we going to get it from Microsoft? Or is Microsoft going to give it to Nokia first? Is Google going to give it to Motorola first? Or for that matter, is Microsoft now feeling like, with all the stuff that's gone on this week, feeling like, wow, we need to make our own hardware in-house. We got to either, firm things up, the Nokia thing goes deeper, or look at doing something with RIM, or who knows what. Really interesting time. People always joke, or not joke, it used to be that summer was the dead time, the quiet time in consumer tech and in mobile especially. August, quiet month. Not anymore, man. This week has just been crazy. RIP Palm, and I guess RIP the touchpad and the Pre and the Veer and all that stuff. Again, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, just a week ago, I was getting PR emails from HP's PR people saying, stay tuned, Pre 3, can't wait, coming soon. So the rug has been pulled out from a lot of people today. A lot of people, looking for new jobs or thinking about new jobs. A lot of people thinking about, switching from webOS to a different platform. And then a lot of people wondering what's going to come next, how's this going to shake up the industry. I don't know. I do think we'll wind up seeing something done with webOS. HP spent too much money to just write this whole $1 billion+ acquisition off that quickly. But what happens with it remains to be seen. It'll be interesting. But I, for one, would love to see a company like HTC pick it up. I think they're well suited. Stay tuned. Whatever happens, we'll cover it. And, you know, I'll find something else to get fired up about. But right now, where's my... I'm a little sad, man. I'm going to carry this thing around and, I don't know. I'm going to use it to shine my head. That said, we're giving a bunch of stuff away. So there's good news. There's bright skies. We're giving a bunch of stuff away on the site starting, depending on when you're watching this, starting tomorrow. So we'll announce it all on YouTube. Check out the site as well. We've got some great sponsors lined up. We're doing giveaways for the next like 4 or 5 weeks at least. And then we've got something cool we've been working on for a while. It's going to kick off after that. So we got you covered. Palm or no Palm, webOS or no webOS, Beats Audio, no Beats Audio in your HP laptop, whatever happens, don't worry about it. We'll bring you the news, we'll bring you the good times, we'll bring you the bad times, and we've got some giveaways for you from our lovely friends in the industry. So check back very, very soon for that. And as always, much more coverage of everything, the phones, the news, the rumors, all that stuff on technobuffalo.com. And John's headed over to Germany soon to cover IFA. That's going to be awesome. So, Palm, webOS, we hardly knew you. Palm we knew for a long, long time. I remember when I got a Palm 7 review unit way back in the day. Palm 7, Palm Pilot. This is the one that had the flip-up antenna. That thing was not good looking. But I was working at .com in New York at the time, and we were renting an office till our like ridiculous fancy waste money custom office was finished being built out, and we wound up having to work from home for a couple of weeks because the lease was up in the first place but the new place wasn't ready. And so I was able to finagle a Palm 7 review unit because I was writing for this little website called PowerBook Central, and I remember walking around the streets of Manhattan with this thing being all like, oh man, I could work from anywhere. So I've got this wireless thing. I couldn't really get much done with it, but it's still kind of cool. So, soft spot in my heart for Palm, for webOS, obviously. We miss you. But whatever's next will be there. See you next time, everybody.